For many first-time homeowners in Singapore, balloting for a BTO flat is often the first step in their journey. However, with the recent delays, fierce competition, and longer waiting times for BTO flats, many are now considering resale flats and executive condominiums (ECs) as viable alternatives. No matter what type of home you're dreaming of, the reality is that you'll need enough cash for the down payment to make that dream come true. The prices of BTO flats, resale flats, and ECs can vary widely, and each comes with its own set of rules. But don't worry, we're here to break it all down for you, so you can confidently save up and take that exciting step towards owning your own home. In this video, I will discuss the requirements for purchasing property in Singapore so you can understand what is needed. How much is HDB down payment for BTO, resale, and EC? We've gotten straight to the point on how much you'll need for the down payment on your first HDB flat. Simply multiply the percentage by the purchase price. For example, for a $400,000 to flat with an HDB loan, your down payment would be $80,000, which is 20% to be paid in CPF or cash. With a bank loan, your down payment would be $20,000, which is 5% to be paid in cash, and $80,000, which is 20% to be paid in CPF. Remember, the table above shows the total down payment you'll need to make. This total amount is divided into two payments, one during the signing of the agreement for lease and the other when you collect your keys. Keep watching for more details. Why are there two different types of HDB down payment? Your down payment mainly depends on the type of loan you choose, HDB loan or bank loan. Most Singaporeans opt for the HDB loan since you can borrow up to 80% of the flat price, making your down payment only 20%. However, the interest rate for an HDB loan is 2.6%, which is considered quite high. Interestingly, in the current high-interest rate environment, HDB loan interest rates are actually lower than bank interest rates. While bank loans once offered attractive rates of around 1.2% to 1.5%, they've now risen to between 3.25% and 4.70%, which is higher than the HDB rate. Plus, the down payment for a bank loan is larger, where you need to put a down payment of 25% of the flat price, with at least 5% needing to be paid in cash. Here is what you need to know about your HDB down payment. Loan-to-value limit, also known as LTV limit. This is the amount you can borrow from HDB 80% or the bank 75%. Down payment. This is the remaining amount after deducting the borrowing limit, which you can pay partly or fully using your CPF. Minimum cash down payment. This applies only if you take a bank loan requiring at least 5% in cash. We'll also explain stamp duty, which is known as BSD or ABSD. This is an additional fee of up to 4% on top of the purchase price. You must pay this in cash first and then request reimbursement from your CPF, so you'll need to have this cash on hand initially. HDB down payment for BTO flat. Imagine this. You are a newly wedded couple, still living with your parents even though you tied the knot 2 years ago. Finally, you have found your dream home, a beautiful three-room BTO flat in Downpayment, a mature estate with convenient access to amenities and attractions. It costs $400,000. Can you afford it? Here is the down payment breakdown for your HDB BTO flat shown in the table. So, when do you have to pay your BTO flat down payment? Once you book an HDB flat and pay the option fee, HDB will ask you to come in within 9 months to sign the agreement for lease. At this point, you will make the first portion of your down payment. If you are taking a bank loan, be sure to have a valid letter of offer ready to bring to your appointment. After signing, it is a waiting game until your flat is built. When it is finally ready, you can collect your keys, but you will need to pay the remaining down payment then. If the remaining amount is covered by a loan, HDB or your bank will disperse the funds at this stage. How much is my HDB down payment under the staggered down payment scheme? Good news, HDB offers a staggered down payment scheme. With this option, you still pay the same total down payment, split into two parts. But you pay a smaller portion upfront when you sign the agreement for lease. To qualify for the staggered down payment scheme, you need to meet the following two conditions. First group conditions are: 1. You are both first-time applicants, or a couple with one first-time and one second-time applicant. 2. You obtained a valid HFE letter on or before the younger applicant's 30th birthday. 3. You have booked a 5-room or smaller flat. Or you meet the second group conditions, which are: 1. You are downsizing to a smaller flat. 2. You have booked an uncompleted 3-room or smaller flat in a non-mature estate. 3. You have not sold or completed the sale of your existing flat at the time of your HFE letter application. How much is my HDB down payment if I'm eligible for deferred income assessment? Starting from the June 2024 sales exercise, young couples eligible for deferred income assessment will pay a smaller portion of the down payment when signing the agreement for lease. Here are the eligibility requirements. 1. Education or national service. Both of you must be full-time students, national servicemen NSS, or have recently completed full-time studies or national service within the last 12 months before applying for the HFE letter. Age: at least one of you must be 30 years old or younger at the time of the HFE letter application. Marital status: you must be married or applying for a flat under the fiancé scheme. Household status: at least one of you must be a first-time applicant. HDB down payment for resale flats. What if you're not keen on waiting indefinitely for a new BTO flat? Many of the conditions for purchasing a BTO flat also apply to resale flats. For instance, picture yourself buying a 4-room resale flat in a mature estate like Vidocq. It's priced around $600,000, considerably more than a BTO. But hey, at least you can move in within the year. However, unlike with uncompleted BTO flats, you won't qualify for HDB staggered down payment scheme. This means you'll need to come up with $120,000 or $150,000 in cash or from your CPF when you sign the lease. HDB down payment for EC. Executive condominiums ECs are technically under the HDB umbrella, but they operate quite differently from BTO and resale flats. Unlike BTOs and resale flats, you can't apply for an HDB loan to buy an EC. Instead, you'll need to approach a bank for financing, which typically requires a higher down payment. The purchasing process for an EC closely resembles that of buying a private condominium. Here's how it breaks down for a $1 million through-room EC in a non-central neighborhood. The hurdle lies in accumulating $200,000 in your CPF and $50,000 in cash. Stamp duty adds to the challenge, costing $24,600. Although you can reclaim this from your CPFOI, you still need to have it upfront. Altogether, you and your spouse must have a minimum of $74,600 in your bank accounts. Things to note for permanent residence PIS. The calculations mentioned above are tailored for Singaporean citizens. For Singaporeans, only beer stamp duty BST applies to the first property purchase, so it doesn't impact the down payment directly. However, for PR couples, additional beer stamp duty ABST is required. Typically, this amounts to 5% of the property's price for a first home purchase. If you're a PR and your spouse is a Singaporean, you won't need to pay ABST when making your HDB down payment. Should I get an HDB loan or bank loan? As you can see, your HDB down payment will vary significantly depending on whether you opt for an HDB loan or a bank loan. Many cash-strapped Singaporeans prefer the HDB loan due to its lower down payment requirement of 20%. Although there's a possibility that HDB interest rates might exceed those of bank loans if market rates drop. HDB loans offer stability with fixed rates for up to 25 years, ensuring predictable monthly payments. HDB loans also offer flexibility. You can pay off your loan early or switch providers without penalties. On the other hand, bank loans currently come with higher interest rates than HDB loans. These rates could decrease if market interest rates fall in the future. However, bank loan interest rates are typically fixed for only 2 to 3 years, necessitating refinancing every few years to secure the best rates. What determines the loan ceiling of my bank loan? The HDB loan-to-value LTV ratio stands at 80% currently. This means you can borrow up to 80% of the property price with an HDB loan. In contrast, bank loans have a slightly lower LTV of 75%. However, the amount you can borrow depends on several factors, including 1. Mortgage servicing ratio (MSR). This restricts your monthly repayment to no more than 30% of your gross income, covering all property loans, including the one you're applying for. Total debt servicing ratio (TDSR). This limits your total monthly debt repayments to 55% of your gross income, encompassing all obligations like credit card debts and student loans. These criteria play a crucial role in determining how much you can borrow for your home loan, ensuring your financial commitments remain manageable. Does the new Plus housing model change anything? Starting, a new category of BTO projects will be introduced. These are called Plus Flats, 24 BTO sales, a step up from the standard HDB flats we're all familiar with. Plus Flats will be strategically located in more desirable areas like HDB town centers or near new MRT stations, making them slightly more expensive. To make them more accessible, the government will offer more substantial subsidies, though they will come with stricter eligibility criteria. This concept is reminiscent of the prime location public housing PLH model, but Plus Flats won't necessarily be in central or city fringe areas. They may receive fewer subsidies compared to PLH flats and come with less stringent restrictions. While the exact details of Plus Flats are still being finalized, it's expected that the usual rules regarding down payment and loans for BTO flats will apply without significant changes. Plus Flats represent a new option for homebuyers seeking enhanced locations and government support, aiming to balance affordability with the appeal of prime residential areas. How do I know if I can afford the HDB down payment? That's a question that only you can answer. Luckily, I've got many tools for you. Link below.